Let me start with a simple point. I don't believe in God because there is no direct evidence for God's existence. Everything we know about the universe comes from science, observation, and experiments. When people didn't understand things in the past, lightning, diseases, earthquakes, they explained them by saying God did it. But as science advanced, those explanations disappeared. So why should we assume God exists when natural explanations already explain the universe?
Science is powerful, but it answers how things work, not why they exist. Let me ask you a simple question. Why does the universe exist at all? Modern cosmology tells us that the universe had a beginning about 13.8 billion years ago. Anything that begins to exist must have a cause. A building has a builder. A painting has a painter. A program has a programmer. So if the universe began to exist, it must also have a cause outside itself. That cause is what we call God.
But if everything needs a cause, then your argument creates another problem. Who created God? If the universe needs a creator, then logically God should also need a creator. Otherwise, it seems like you're making a special exception for God.
The argument is often misunderstood. The claim is not that everything needs a cause. The claim is that everything that begins to exist needs a cause. The universe began to exist, but God, by definition, did not begin to exist. God is understood as eternal, outside of time and space. If every cause required another cause forever, we would have an infinite chain and nothing would ever exist. To avoid that contradiction, there must be a first uncaused cause. That first cause is what believers call God.
Even if the universe had a cause, that doesn't prove the cause is a personal God. It could be a natural process we simply don't understand yet. Just because we don't know something today doesn't mean we should insert God as the answer. History shows that many mysteries were eventually solved by science.
That is a fair concern, but the argument is not based on ignorance. It is based on reasoning about the nature of the universe. Consider the fine-tuning of the universe. The laws of physics are extremely precise. If gravity were slightly stronger or weaker, stars and planets would not form. If the expansion rate of the universe were slightly different, the universe would collapse or disperse. Many scientists acknowledge that the constants of nature appear finely balanced for life. This raises an important question. Is it more reasonable to believe this precise balance happened by chance, or that it was intentionally set?
But probability alone cannot prove design. Some physicists propose the idea of the multiverse, that there could be billions or trillions of universes with different physical constants. In that scenario, it's not surprising that one universe, like ours, would support life. We simply happen to live in the one where life is possible.
The multiverse idea is interesting, but it raises its own questions. Where did the multiverse come from? What created the laws that generate these universes? Even if there were trillions of universes, the entire system still requires an explanation. At some point, the chain of explanations must lead to a necessary being, something that exists by its own nature and does not depend on anything else. In Islamic philosophy, that necessary being is God.
Let me raise another issue. If God exists and is good and powerful, why does so much suffering exist in the world? Children die of hunger. Natural disasters destroy entire cities. If God is both loving and powerful, why would such suffering be allowed?
That question touches on the purpose of life. In Islam, life is not meant to be a perfect world. It is a test. Human beings have free will, and our actions have consequences. Hardship also reveals compassion, patience, and moral choices. Without challenges, concepts like courage, generosity, and justice would not even exist. From the Islamic perspective, this world is temporary, while ultimate justice occurs in the afterlife. So suffering in this life does not mean the absence of God. It reflects the reality of a testable world.
From my perspective, belief in God is not necessary to explain the universe. Science continues to uncover natural explanations for phenomena we once considered mysterious. Until God can be demonstrated with clear and measurable evidence, I remain skeptical. For me, the search for truth should rely on observation, evidence, and critical thinking.
From my perspective, belief in God is supported by reason and reflection. The existence of the universe, the beginning of time, the fine-tuning of physical laws, and the presence of moral awareness all point towards a necessary creator. Science helps us understand the universe, but it does not remove the deeper question of why the universe exists at all. For many believers, these signs make the existence of God not only meaningful, but logically compelling.